Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tato's Hardcore Media. Gotta get my seatbelt. Be in for a bumpy ride. Be in for a ride here, everybody. Leave a like, leave a comment. This is about Elon's Musk. Elon's Musk. Is it his Musk or is it his Husk or is it his Musk? They about taking over MSNBC, and I'm an independent and stuff. I'm not either way on left or the right or anything, but let's take a deep dive into this, people.
Never coming back, desperately trying to save the mothership of information, and they have to throw MSNBC overboard. And you know what's next? The View.
Yes. But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News.
So there is a very high probability.
Well, the ABC is not about fact checking. Neither is Fox or anything like that, but hey, whatever.
That Elon Musk is going to buy MSNBC. And I would love to see nothing more than him do that and make all of mainstream media and the Democrats' heads explode. They absolutely hate Elon Musk. And I'm going to show you a few clips, particularly from Joy Reid, who has just become, I mean, she was already a nutcase, but she's just become a complete, I mean, she is really having a mental health crisis. I mean, the woman has gone full delusional. But let me show you this exchange between Elon Musk and Donald Trump Jr. So it says here, hey, Elon, I have the funniest idea ever. So then so this is Donald Trump Jr. Then he put in this about Comcast. It says Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. Maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience is a lousy business model. It actually has worked for them for almost a decade. But now the shite has hit the fan and they are losing viewers. And it is just a complete collapse. But then Elon then responded, how much does it cost? So there is a lot of talk about this, and let me show you the numbers really quickly, because I mean, this is honestly a drop in the bucket for Elon. This basically is pocket changes, money he finds in his sofa, okay, essentially is what it would take for him to buy MSNBC. That's how low it's worth. So Elizabeth McDonald, she tweeted this. She said, just work the sources on Elon Musk buying MSNBC as he floated today. It's not worth more than $376 million back of the envelope.
I'd like a fact check on that, but let's see. It generated. So from what she says, 376 million, which is nothing for him. He'd get on a loss though, so it's probably worth even less. Lawrence O'Donnell given its 53% drop in ratings since October. Its ad sales revenues are likely dropping fast below estimated 800 million a year. Also likely below sister cable, Gulf News Channel, having covered corporate accounting, Wall Street Journal, Comcast spinoff of MSNBC, CNBC, USA. The Gulf Channel sci-fi is not sci-fi anymore. It's not science fiction anymore. It's gone to trash. E! Entertainment, which is trash. $7 billion revenues through September 30th. There'll be a big fight over tangible value. Expected haircuts.
It faces sizable cuts to its intangible goodwill value. Its anchors like Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, Lawrence O'Donnell, given its 53% drop in ratings since October.
Is that right?
Its ad sale revs are likely dropping fast because estimated below an estimated $800 million year over year. Wow. It has lost
Don't forget it's paid.
800 million year over year. That's incredible. Also, likely below sister cable, the Golf Channel. So the Golf Channel is doing better than MSNBC. Having covered corporate accounting for the Wall Street Journal, the Comcast spin-off of MSNBC, CNBC, USA, the Golf Channel, Sci-Fi, and E that generated 7 billion revs through September 30th will be a big fight over intangible value.
I just read that.
Expect big haircuts to the assets values and anchors pay cuts beyond the 5 million haircut Rachel Maddow took to
you watch your mouth when
million
you're talking to me. You know who's paying you 10,000 dinero an hour?
Some back of
I
the
am.
envelope, things, and so that's what it's worth. But then again, the intangibles, how much are the anchors worth? To me, they're not worth anything. I think most people don't think they're worth anything, especially with what Morning Joe just did. In fact, take a look at what Bill O'Reilly had to say about MSNBC and particularly Morning Joe.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, here's what happened with Joe and Mika. They were ordered to go to Mar-a-Lago by Comcast, the parent company out of Philadelphia. They just didn't show up.
Does he have proof of this?
Okay? And Trump said, oh, this is great. Here they come, going to kiss my you-know-what, and we'll get photo ops, which they did. But Comcast said, you two, we're going to have to try to mend some cliche fences.
And let me tell you about Cuomo here, man. I love how different sides. I don't like it being one-sided or anything, because we learn nothing unless we hear different sides and get intelligence, get our facts straight. Like getting stuff in the middle, just getting the facts and stuff. So.
And you two are going to go in there and you're going to try to tamp it down. Because Comcast knew the next day they were going to announce that MSNBC is vapor. That is a huge media story.
Why is it vapor? Just because they're spinning it off and putting them in the... Well, they're spinning off a bunch of brands.
There's no spin-off.
There is. It's a spin-off company.
There's no spin-off. See, you buy the propaganda, Cuomo.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean about
I'm just saying
people?
what's being reported.
All right?
But what do you know?
Yeah, I know, but why would you believe what's being reported? You want the real story? Here
Yes,
it comes.
please.
So they're uncoupling their word, Comcast, MSNBC from NBC News. That means MSNBC has no resources at all. None. They're not going to be able to pay these people millions of dollars, Rachel Maddow, whatever she's making. NBC News is saying, we don't want you around. Why? Because NBC News' numbers, Lester Holt and the Today Show, are catastrophe. Because half the country equates NBC.
He doesn't bullshit. The black guy, Alan, he doesn't bullshit. I mean, he is... I mean, whether you agree with him or not, love the guy.
News with MSNBC, and they won't watch. So NBC is desperately trying to save the mothership of information, and they have to throw MSNBC overboard. They're not putting anything into MSNBC. They want to sell it. So where's Georgie Soros now? Georgie's buying radio stations. You can get MSNBC for nothing. They'll give it to you. They don't want any more of this. Why? Because it's hateful. Not because it's so far left. The whole NBC Comcast hierarchy is far left. But it's hateful. They hate Trump. They hate people who vote for Trump. Everybody knows that. And you know what's next? The View. ABC News is going to have to cut ties with The View. And you saw that today or yesterday when Sonny Hassan had to read a legal statement in the middle of a segment. The lawyers got Whoopi Goldberg's ear and said, we're bringing a statement in on the teleprompter. She reads it. So it is over for these far left networks. Done, never coming back. Dracula's stake in the heart. Who benefits? News Nation may, but CNN, which is on the ropes too.
More central. They're not all right or left. So, I mean, you got to go with companies. I mean, Cuomo, he has his own left views and stuff like that. And he's not, at least he's honest, though. And he doesn't, he just is who he is and stuff like that. So are people on the right. They don't, and people don't evolve enough. But I was going to say something and I just sort of trailed off. But it's like News Nation is more central with what they put out and stuff, as opposed to Fox or CNN, MSNBC, or it's too extreme. Either way, you don't want bullshit. You want the facts. You don't want stupid, opinion. You don't want people just putting in lies and attacking others just for the sake of attacking someone. Just because, hey, news used to be about news, putting out the facts. And in the past, 10 years, more so I'd say, 15 years, what's this, 20, I noticed this 20, but it got really bad in the past, 10 years, how people, you gotta blame Trump for that, to be honest, because politicians, to call a politician, just call what they are, liars, psychopaths, sociopaths. They'll say anything to get elected on either side. But
we'll probably get some MSNBC viewers. Wow. There you go.
So Bill had a lot to say there, and I agree with him 100%. And he has some insider information. I knew, and we all knew, they were forced to do that. They didn't do that out of the goodness of their heart. The head brass said, you need to go and make amends, because we need to get on the good side of Donald Trump. We need to, we're bleeding out money. And just to show you what he said, some of you guys may not know this, and I meant to do this story before the election, but there were just so many things going on, especially with Kamala Harris and her whole disastrous campaign.
The thing is, they don't have to apologize. They just know that they're bleeding subscribers, and it's like people, I think, had enough of the BS and the lies of these far left companies, and you can say, far right is, they are too as well. But even more so, because all these networks, most news channels is run by the left, versus, the right, which just has Fox and stuff, and, some podcasts that are on Rumble or whatever, which doesn't get, as many views as mainstream media, mainstream news does. So.
Pain. But it's Soros-backed group wins Biden administration approval for takeover of 200 radio stations. Do you hear that?
That's mass propaganda. That's what I hate this guy's piece of shit. He looks like a turd, to be honest. And he is one. He is a turd. But he hates America and stuff. And he's one of these multi-billionaires that likes, illegals coming in, likes the destruction of our country, and just hates America, period. So he's bought all these radio stations. That means you control the flow of information. You control media. You control what people see, hear, and what is said. That's never a good thing. That is controlling information. That's what communist countries do. That's what China, Russia does, North Korea, and other extreme Muslim countries, and Asian countries as well.
That 200 radio stations that George Soros now controls. So we already know that the majority of mainstream media is run basically by the DNC. And now we have these radio stations that are going to be run by basically the DNC, because George Soros is their huge backer, and he has been for many years for the Democrats. Now we're going to get into a few more details about this, but guys, make sure you're going to realmelanieking.com. That is my merch store, and I have a lot of cool things that have dropped. I'm doing 15% off on all Christmas merch, plus you get free shipping on any order over $75. Now look at this. Rachel Maddow Inc.'s new deal to remain at MSNBC despite rating woes, questions about the network's future. So even though,
Just out of respect.
you know, she took this pay cut of $5 million, she is still getting $25 million a year. Okay. And she just renewed her contract. So I don't know if there is a buyout clause or what they would do, but if Elon Musk buys MSNBC, there's no way we would want Rachel Maddow
If Elon
on there.
Musk
But
buys,
definitely don't want her to get
I wish
this
he-
money as
I wish you'd get that straight. It's his Musk, or his Husk, whatever way you feel about it.
well. So I don't know what they would do about that. Would they have her on there and just basically, you know, make it so miserable that she just basically quits?
That's how you get
And
rid of somebody you
speaking
don't
of
like.
quitting, let's take a look at Joy Reid. So Joy recently left Twitter in order to go to Blue Sky, which is a cesspool of liberals and just canceling each other if you say the wrong thing. You will get your account deleted and suspended, banned. You will be banned from there just by
Yay, I
saying
get
that Trump
deleted.
won. They don't have enough
Yay, I get
moderators and people just
canceled.
putting
Let's
out
get
basic
canceled.
information. If
I wanna
you
get canceled and
flagged, then it's
deleted
because it's a
today.
bastion for these woke
Let's
liberals.
all get canceled
If
and deleted.
If they
Banned.
flag you, they're automatically
Yay.
taking you down without even doing any fact checking. So I don't see Blue Sky lasting very long. It's a lot of censorship, even for the people who are woke. It's a disaster. So she left. And she's been descending into madness. Now, she has hated Elon Musk for a long time. Let me show you some of the propaganda that she
everyone
has
else on
spewed
that
about
network.
Elon.
Not care about Twitter or X or whatever Elon Musk calls it these days, but you should care that a man who parrots anti-Semites and
Musk.
transphobes is actively promoting people like Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Tucker Carlson. As one of the world's richest oligarchs, Elon Musk controls a major social media platform and has turned it into a giant megaphone for xenophobic, racist, misogynistic, and anti-Semitic trolls.
I just love idiots that make up these made up words that aren't real. Xenophobic, racist, and misogynistic. When somebody uses those words, I have to tune them out or I have to shut them out. I want to shut them up, really. I don't respect them when they use those words because these have been brainwashed by a political machine, a political think tank, or organizations, or how people are brainwashed in universities, schools, or colleges. Oh my God, there's no such thing as xenophobic, hardly. I mean, they're just making up words. It's like either you hate a group of people or you don't. And racist is thrown out where it's meaningless today. If you're racist, you better put out the proof that they are. You better back it up. You can't just call people racist and xenophobe. It's just a fake word. Misogynist is a fake word too.
He has reinstated noted Nazis, white supremacists, sex traffickers, and white supremacists, did I mention that already? Some of whom he has personally engaged with and amplified.
Now, outside of her deep hatred for free speech and Elon Musk, she is still on this, demented run about
His Musk really bothers her.
Trump. And now she is encouraging people to, make sure they're not around their family members for Thanksgiving and for the holidays. So not only is she having Trump derangement syndrome, but she's now trying to divide and separate families from even coming together at a time like this. And I've seen this from a lot of people on the left, that they want nothing to do with any of their family members because of how they voted.
And
one thing is, I gotta say, people on the right do this too, as well with family. Both sides are doing it. You can't say that one side's doing it or the other. It's just the way that, I mean, if you don't like so-called family, family is whom you make it. It's not about blood. It never is. Okay? There's blood family that's the worst. It could be your worst enemy. They could be worse than your worst enemy. And that's not family, okay? But, I mean, if you want to stay away from people that you're related to, that's your own call. That's, if it's better for your mental health and well-being, then stay away from them. But it's, and I kind of get it. And it's always you say that's kind of stupid, but you know what? There is relatives that are just bad to be around. No matter what political side of the aisle you're on.
If you're voting affirmatively, gleefully for this, people may not feel so confident in you anymore. That's real, and you kind of have to live with it. So if you think that you can vote for what people see as their destruction and then demand that they still are cool with you and kiki with you and have Thanksgiving with you, like, I think you're kind of missing the point of what people are upset about. They're afraid. And autocracy and fascism are things that are legitimate to be afraid of. So you may want to step back.
So along with Joy Reid, many of the talking heads are running to Blue Sky. And they think that it could be a competition.
It's how she goes about it I don't like. The words that she uses, I don't like.
To Twitter.
Does Blue Sky have a shot of succeeding?
Beautifully put.
It has a shot because without Elon's thumb on the scale.
You need lots of vodka, you need lots of alcohol and drugs that are very illegal to be on far right, far left places.
I'm getting the sense that I can actually maybe talk to people,
right?
Talk to my conservative friends, read the thoughts of people as opposed to reading.
And get realistic feedback.
Now, it's delusional at best to think it would be competition. In fact, I think it'd be great if Elon actually bought it, and that would really make them cry. But some are actually recognizing that it's going to create their own echo chamber and amplify the problems that the media and that the Democrats have had, and that's why they have lost the election. They are not connected to real people. They are not fact-checked. Just whatever.
I mean, let them have their own safe space. All right. Let me tell you, with the adult stars in the adult industries I know of, we'd have our safe space, which is XBiz, which has a bunch of rats in XBiz. They kicked me out and stuff because I was not on one side, and I got kicked off Twitter, so I hate them. But they have a safe space. They have one safe space just for the adult stars, do porn, and they got it for other people that work adult industry, stuff like that. 2 different sections. Let people have their safe spaces. I'm always an advocate for that. No matter how bad it is, give them their place. Let them have it. And a lot of people have said, everybody, let's go in and let's attack Blue Sky. It's like, you gotta be stupid and have no fucking life to do that. I mean, jeez, yeah, it sounds like fun just to troll people. There's some fun up, but it's like, then you have to look at yourself and see what a piece of shit you are. Let me tell you, there are people that I've attacked before and stuff like that. But it's like, what are you doing with your life? You're just going and attacking people. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, I think there's just a better way to do it, and it'd be a waste of money if he did. Let him have it. I mean, I've heard people get banned just for having a difference of opinion. Even lefties are getting banned for having a difference of opinion. So that tells you not to go there. And there's stuff about Elon Musk, there's stuff that I don't like about him. He's a very big liar and a two-face about, where he believed in UFOs. He had pictures of UFOs, he said, and you can see like ETs or whatever. And then he did a total 180. He said, I don't believe in UFOs. They're not real. How come we don't say they're everywhere? And there's proof that they are. And thing is, he started lying his ass off about UFOs. Why? Because he could lose trillions upon trillions of dollars. He'd lose, if we used ET reverse technology. I don't like it with Neuralink. I don't like that bullshit. We have psychic and telepathic abilities that we should learn to use instead of this crap, and we could use, we could learn different languages, through that. So there's plenty I don't like about Elon Musk.
They think of in their own little bubble that they feel as though that is the truth. But the election showed that the American people do not agree with that.
The election's over. Everybody's getting smarter and better. I'm not sure that the right idea is to leave Twitter and just go to Blue Sky, a friendlier place, because then we remain in our echo chambers. I don't think that you should necessarily stay in Twitter every day and battle it out.
So pretty much an echo chamber is where people just say stuff. And it goes like nowhere. It's like you're in this bubble. Alright? For those that don't know, most people do. Some don't. And nobody listens to it. You just spout off your beliefs, stuff like that. And for the few that do have the same beliefs, you talk to each other. And it's there for like venting. It's pretty much what Twitter is. Cesspool. Alright? The gutter. That's pretty much social media. Good or bad, there's good, bad, but the echo chamber is pretty much where you just do that.
And let yourself doom scroll of all the hate coming at you. But I want to see it. I want to read what's happening there, right? And so I think at least staying in those spaces is important because I want to hear the other things.
Eddie,
there are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact checking and actually verification of the things that are shared.
Yeah,
because
try
I spend
it,
a lot
baby.
of time on Instagram
Try
Reels, and I'm served
fact-checking,
up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the Blue Sky versus X, because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky, I worry we're all going
Who fact checks the fact checkers?
Into our own echo chamber. So we had this, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky.
Hold it. Stop your bullshit. Itches. There's far left and far right on X. Okay, there are people that can put their ads, even adult stuff, on X. You can't say it's fucking far right. Stop your bullshit. This is why people are sick and tired of you. Because both sides can be on X. No matter how you feel about Elon Musk, I gotta fact check the bullshitters like you and the other people on these networks. Okay? X is the only place all these different sides can be on and talk and spew out their toxins, their venom, and all this other stuff that so many people don't even care to hear about, and people don't fact check, and half of it is just lies or more.
What do we try to talk to each other?
So Bill O'Reilly also talked about The View. And recently I did a video where, they were talking about how they're fact checked and by ABC, and they don't really give out disinformation like it is on Twitter. They hate Twitter and Elon Musk as well because it's not censored the way they like, the way the old Twitter was, where they can get away with all of their lies and propaganda.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But so when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have the legal note here.
This is owned by Disney and stuff. Which is owned by Disney. That should tell you a lot. But whether you like it or not.
But we went from Walter Cronkite basically to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple check?
Yes, I did. Dude. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of.
I believe in Dragon Ball. I like Akira Toriyama Sensei, was a master. To this day, I see flying dragons floating out the sky, and I was talking about from the drugs I take all the time. But yes, dragons.
Really, really bad information that's going out there.
And they hate Joe Rogan, obviously, because he endorsed Trump, brought Trump on there. And they've hated him for a long time, ever since all of the left have hated him, or the mainstream Democrats, because of when he supported Bernie. And they went through a whole campaign trying to say that Joe Rogan was racist. They said Bernie was racist. They're both misogynistic. A lot of people forget about this, but they did that to Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders.
She said to me that when Bernie said Hillary wasn't qualified,
is that? Oh
they
my
took
God!
That a little sexist.
What the fuck is he
like,
doing on?
How could the Secretary of State, 103 countries that she visited, 2-time senator,
they
first
have
lady, civil rights
my
lawyer,
God,
not be qualified? He didn't say he's not right for the job, but qualified.
Joe Rogan, very popular podcaster. He endorsed Donald Trump in the final days of the election. 4 years ago, you went on his podcast. You got a lot of blowback for doing that and for touting that he
got a lot of
you.
views.
So
got
is this the kind of example of Democrats
got a lot of endorsements,
perhaps
not
shunning or vilifying people who don't totally agree with them?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Look, you can have an argument with Rogan, agree with him, disagree with him, but what's the problem going on our shows? It's hard for me to understand that. So I think we've got to get, and clearly you have an alternative media
Look
out
at her
there.
face. Look at her face. She's always just sad. She's upset. And you can tell she's losing sleep. Okay, I'm pretty much an expert on this stuff. But I mean, this is a problem. What people, we're supposed to be around people that are around different views and learn from that. Because we're not always right in our beliefs. We're not. I'm not always right. I'm always right, but I'm not. You know? But, I mean, this is the thing, is that these companies are these people are too extreme. And you need to be central. You need people that are central. They'll call out the BS of both sides of politics. Because that's all politics is bullshit.
A lot of podcasts that have millions and millions of viewers. Get on the show. Disagree with you here. I agree with you there. I don't see a problem in doing that. And you're right. I got vilified by some of the Democratic establishment because I went on Rogan's show. Now a lot of other people are doing just that.
Look at this. Elon Musk says the most entertaining outcome, especially if ironic, is most likely. And I think he's talking about MSNBC.
Yes.
And then Joe Rogan put, if you buy MSNBC, I would like Rachel Maddow's job. I will wear the same outfit and glasses, and I will tell the same
Well, you have
lie.
the chest.
So then Elon Musk
he has a
provides
chest.
deal.
He
It
does.
looks like
He has a
Elon
chest.
is going to buy MSNBC.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know what that's going to look like, but we know it's
bigger,
going to upset a lot of people. This would be a great way to get back at mainstream. But as we think about what would be the formula for that type of show, who would be...
What, like you weren't thinking it either? Like you weren't thinking it either.
Get on there. One of the main people that I think that would be great is Scott Jennings. Even though he's with CNN, I think the format of having people on, having that kind of round table and people discussing these things.
Just watch your mouth. We're supposed to be inclusive. We're supposed to have diversity and inclusiveness here. All right?
I think it's a great way for these type of opinion news channels to be done, and not this echo chamber of everyone agreeing with each other. Take a look at Scott Jennings dismantling all of these Democrats on CNN, and it's just, honestly, I think it's the highest probably rated thing that they do over there, because he just dunks on them in a way that nobody else can.
Hitler to get so many meeting requests, first from Joe Biden, now from Mika and Joe. It's amazing that literal Hitler is getting all these meeting requests, and what it tells me, Professor, is that all the rhetoric that came from the left, from the Democrats, from the White House, from Kamala Harris and everyone else before the election, all of the rhetoric, the fascism, the Hitler, the Nazi rally at him.
And so now black people, Latinos, and everybody, and Native Americans are Hitler. And now it's not what you think. It's just like both sides. It's just how fucking pathetic. I get itchy now. This happens when we talk about politics.
It was all a bunch of BS. They didn't mean any of it. And if I were in the Democrat sort of rabble's shoes, I would be looking at all my leaders and going, did you just BS me for an entire 6 weeks before the election?
I just reread.
To be fair to Brzezinski and Scarborough, they're not the only MSNBC hosts or the only, the word journalist is complicated, right, because they're more like personalities, but there are a number of journalists at places like the AP and other big news outlets that are concerned about retaliation in the coming months.
These are, boy, she's cute too. Too bad. But anyway, people that are in politics, I have no respect for, because they don't care about, they just care about politics, which is BS. So, over 10 plus years ago, 15 years ago or more, I know you start to see where these people are just for politicians. They don't care about the people, just for that side of the aisle that they're on. So, especially fuck them.
Months. Anything from IRS audits to lawsuits and things like that. There are media outlets bulking up on lawyers, thinking about having more libel insurance, those sorts of things. Now, I don't know exactly what the specific concern Joe and Mika had was or wasn't, but they're not the only MSNBC personalities worried about retaliation. However, they are the only ones to go down to Mar-a-Lago and have a meeting.
Yeah, Scott, you were shaking your head.
I mean, isn't it possible?
Okay,
too,
he's
that
beautiful too.
Two
Right?
people who
he's
are so full of themselves, so
too.
full of self-aggrandizement, that they would feel like that they would be personally
Scott,
singled out.
don't tell anyone, but some of their colleagues feel that way.
Well, I just...
He could use a shine on his head. He could like shit off, get shine, and everything. With my cue ball and stuff like that and everything. I really in there. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, I can see why. Second of all, if that's what happened, and if that's what they truly believe,
Mr. Clean
why did they
going?
go on TV and say that? We went down there to meet with the president to tell him that, hey, anyone who's been critical of you, you should treat us like journalists and not like the enemy. They didn't go on TV and say that. They went on TV and portrayed it much differently. So what I hear you saying in your reporting is they had a motive that they weren't willing to disclose to their audience, which I think should get them more scorn today than they were already getting to begin with.
The foolishness continues. And as I told you guys, you're going to get 15% off.
Baby, I saw it. All right. Anyway, everybody, leave your comments. Leave a like. Tell me what you think. And everything. Hopefully you got some laughs. I don't know. Y'all take care. Have a great morning, noon, and night, wherever you are.